Hi Tryphena, thank you for taking time for this conversation.
Don't mention it, Ian. Thank you.
Very inspired by your story and your sharing that's very open, coming from someone who has struggled with same-sex attraction and is now a pastor and journeying with many others who have the same challenges with same-sex attraction.
I had difficulty in reconciling, especially when I was with my partners, whether they are male or female, and even after having the intimacy, knowing that it is not what God desires, but the emotions in me overwhelms.
Right.
Yeah.
Many of our storytellers in Truelove.is, after spending time with them, I really feel that so much respect because they belong to the Christian faith, where sometimes we are quite silent about the LGBT matters. On the other hand, within the LGBT community, because they are Christian, it also makes it hard for them. So they are like the minorities amongst the minorities. But Tryphena, for you, you are not just that, you are also a pastor. And easy to watch from the outside that everything is going well and you are doing fine. Maybe you can share with us some of your challenges.
Yeah, Ian, when I start to be involved in church and it's so hard to tell people because we always have this sort of expectation being put to us that as Christian you need to be goody, you need to be good and stuff like that. You cannot do something that is not.
You cannot make mistakes.
Cannot make mistakes.
Not allowed to fail.
Yes, of course. Of course, I knew that God called me and I went to full time, and that actually is much more intense because how can a person who is in full time still have this struggle?
Still have the challenges and the struggle.
Yes, still have this struggle. So. Who am I to talk to? I mean, I can't talk to my friends who are church members, and I don't feel safe enough that time to talk to my pastor. It's not his fault, but I just couldn't. But it was when God spoke to me much later after my recovery that I said, Tryphena, you need to be the mouthpiece. There are people like me who wants to be transformed by God, and but we struggle because we do not know who we can talk to.
Tryphena, when you shared, it just occurred to me that you're trying to be for others what others have not done for you.
Whoa.
And that's like the gospel. That's like that reminds me of Jesus. Because many who are within the church having this struggle, what would you say of a church leader who teaches or promotes that the same-sex behavior or homosexual activity are actually okay and permitted by God?
The world today has different teaching. They call themselves Christian, but they have different teaching. I'm sure you're aware of that. Not just about this issue, but even the other things.
Many other issues.
I mean, it's okay for you. God's going to give you lots of money. It's okay. So they will have certain teaching like that. They will have certain teaching that, well, if you continue to sin, it's all right. God's going to forgive you forever and ever, ever, ever. I don't think that the truth that I'm following today, flows according to that. So personally, I would not agree. To that teaching. But who am I to judge them? Because at the end of the day, those who teach will be judged more strictly. So whichever way I teach, I will have to stand before God and God will have to judge me for what I've spoken today, even right now, Ian. You're putting me in that hot soup.
Yes. Then what do you say of pastors who are silent about this issue?
My assumption would be this, that what they don't know, they don't want to touch.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so they're afraid that if I touch it, I'm opening a can and I do not know how to connect. But I want to encourage these pastors, don't be silent to talk about any issues that is contradicting to in the society right now. We need to learn to engage. Engaging does not mean that we have all the answers, but at least we're not silent.
On the other hand, there are some pastors who feels this is not important because maybe statistically speaking, 2 to 4% of the population struggle with this area, and so they decided maybe I shouldn't touch. What do you think?
I think pastors can see as holistically that it's not just a topic that is LGBT or SSA or whatever, but it's related to sexuality, it's related to a holistic family system, it's related to parenting, it's related to discipleship. Doesn't matter whether it is this issue, as long as that person is coming to your church and that person is in pain, or the person seemingly look lost, or still looking for an answer. I think as pastors, we should talk. I remember I shared in youth meetings, and I just tell them that I was a sex addict, and if it's not because of grace of God, I would have had HIV or STD. So I start with that statement, just being real, being vulnerable. But honestly, how many pastors can be that real? Even to just say that a long, long time ago, I watched porn. I mean, with full respect to the pastors, yes. But I think at least we can say that I don't really know what you're going through, but I want to be as real as possible. I struggle with different things. And that makes at least the platform to be a safe haven. They can just, okay, I know my pastor's real, and I can just talk to my pastor. Yeah.
I was very stirred when you talk about the sex addict part, because it brought me back to my own story, how when I was first exposed to pornography when I was 17 years old, it just spiraled me down into this whole 10 over years of addiction towards pornography. I heard that it's something similar in your journey. How did that become a factor in your journey?
I never thought about it, Ian. Never thought whether I'll be, why is it I'm not attracted to male? I knew the truth that I should not, but the thing is that the emotional turmoil in me was I needed that intimacy with same sex. But on another hand, I realized that I was leaning towards the masculine role. With the porn's experiences that I have, been watching for so long, it makes it so much easier, right?
Right, yeah.
Where be it to have a self-satisfaction, or be it to, self-indulgent, or even to have it with my sexual partners.
Shift gear a little bit. Churches or church leaders sometimes may feel that we need to heal someone with same-sex attraction or deliver them from their challenges. It troubles me that the anger is always trying to fix people or see people as if they are projects. What do you say about that? And how important it is to take note that this might be even harmful for people with same-sex attraction?
I wish it was that easy as A plus B plus C equals to D, but it's not. It's not, because you're dealing with the complexity of human being. But the thing is this, we always think that we pray for a person and the person will be healed. I mean, you look at how Jesus does healing. I mean, some is instant, some has to go through a process.
Have you encountered someone, or even in your own journey, that someone tried to fix you or want you to change overnight?
Beginning of my journey, they brought me to look at dresses, wear dresses. I said, for goodness sake, I've never wore a dress for so long. Don't force me to do something which is not me. But the healing or the transformation has to come from within. Even if I don't wear a dress today, it doesn't mean that God has not changed me or God has not transformed me.
Yeah.
We don't use what we can see with our physical eyes to measure a person's transformation.
Sometimes church felt that this LGBT challenge is suddenly came knocking on the doors of church. Church leaders feel that way. What do you think is the best thing that can happen to the Church of Singapore or to the church at large concerning the LGBT issue?
I'm surprised that they are surprised. I'm surprised the pastors, they don't know what to do. Because all the while, the church is a big hospital. Yes, the world may look at us differently, things like that, but number one, we are called to be different. Number two, we are to be a safe haven, a safe place. Whether they are going to be transformed or not going to be transformed, the moment they come in, honestly, in the hospital, there are people that come in, no matter how much we love the patients and how much we help them, they die.
Right.
But there are some who are healed, some who has been changed and transformed.
Yeah.
So whoever is going to walk in, I think first and foremost, we need to change. Actually, Ian, I'm sure there will be LGBT coming to your church. Yeah. And I'm also sure that some of them could have been hurt in their previous churches. What would you say to them?
We have always relegated their challenges and struggle as unimportant. Our silence is a form of rejection to them being part of the Christian community. And for that, I think we need to apologize. On the other hand, I also want to say to the church that we should not see those who have this journey as someone to be fixed, but to learn from them. Because many of them love the truth.
Oh yeah.
They are seeking true love in their journey, which can be so educational and inspiring for the rest of the church as well. So I'm hoping that more of them will be open to share their stories so that we can also benefit, being discipled by their journey and their encounter and their story. So Tryphena, thank you so much for being a champion for this. Your life inspires someone like me who don't have a same-sex attraction journey, but yet I am sharpened by your insight, sharpened by your life, and it's really, really helpful for the church.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you, Tryphena.
You're
Appreciate
most
it.
welcome. Thank you.